Bend in Oregon, and it's the kind of the northern section of Elephant Rock. It was entered into Pastel Society West Coast and accepted in 2004, and it's with Pastel, and I'm not sure what else to say about it. This is Dancing Trees, and it's at Abandoned State Park, which is a little south of where Elephant Rock was, and I was setting up to paint some more rocks out in the ocean, and in order to do so I pointed my easel in a certain direction, and I looked over the easel and saw these trees. Looked more interesting, so I painted them instead. And I tried to get the trees that are in the background kind of really phased out of focus, and so we can concentrate on just the trees. And since there was so much green in that picture, I tried to warm it up a lot with using some burnt sienna. And this Castle Lake #4, a series of 7 pictures that I did at Castle Lake, which is up by Mount Shasta, a pastel. It was when Oregon had that big fire, I forget what they call
Sourdough
it.
biscuit.
The biscuit fire, that's correct. And it, so it was, the smoke had filtered down here in Mount Shasta area, and so it really was keen because it faded out the back, you know, and it's, okay, so.
I'd like to introduce Bill Crary. I'd like to thank him for...
Wait, do that again, wait a minute.
I'd like to introduce our camera person, Sylvia Stone. I'd like to thank her. I'd like to introduce Bill Crary. I'd like to thank him and his wife for coming up from Reading for this. He's given demonstrations here before. I guess a year ago and 2 years ago or something like that.
That's correct.
And I'm going to let him give you the details on his background and his experience, because he knows it better than I do.
Introduce your
I'd
wife.
like to introduce my wife, Terry. She's in the back working to support this house. So,
She's an architect, right?
she's a building designer.
Building design, yeah, I don't call myself an architect.
Yeah. But you don't want to call yourself an architect if you don't have the degree.
Get in big trouble. Right.
Anyway, as was said, I have demonstrated here before. I've been painting since I was 5. I paint with watercolors, pastels, and oils. Don't care much for acrylics, but I belong to quite a few art associations, this being one of them. I belong to the Pastel Society of Oregon, Pastel Society of West Coast, Sierra Pastel Society, and Northwest Pastel Society in Seattle. I'm signature membership of Sierra Pastel Society and signature membership, which I just got, Pastel Society West Coast. I'll have to drive down Friday, down to San Luis Obispo to pick up my painting, which was entered there. But anyway, I teach watercolors for Reading Recreation Department, and I've given pastel workshops and drawing workshops. I believe that drawing is very important in learning how to paint. So many people just take up painting without knowing how to draw, and they get so disappointed and discouraged with their work because it doesn't come out looking like they want it to look. They don't know how to draw. So it's very important for, you know, I think it's very important to learn how to draw. Even if you're going to do abstracts, it's important to learn how to draw. Today I'm going to do a pastel. I picked this lighthouse here. I think it's in Bandon. And, no? Oh, okay. Can't fool you guys, can I? So anyway, and I'm going to work on Wallace sanded paper, and I mount it onto a acid-free foam core with acid-free spray-on glue, and that gives me a nice hard surface to work on. The pastels I use are Schmincke's, Sennelier, Grumbacher, Rowdy, and whatever else is on the market. I have a little bit, but mostly Schmincke's. They're nice and soft and buttery, and I also Unison, which I also like. I sketch my pictures onto the sandpaper with a pencil, and then I fix it with turpenoid, and then I can work over that. So that's kind of a introduction of what I'm going to do. I'll talk as I paint. I picked this subject of the Crescent City Lighthouse. It's a little different view. I guess there's one back there almost similar, but back a little ways. To me, the most important part about painting buildings, especially lighthouses, is perspective drawing. If you don't have the correct perspective, it doesn't look right. And those that know perspective can pick out the faults of it immediately, just like that. So the lighthouse back there was done correctly. So anyway, without that, I guess I'll go ahead and start. If I have any questions, go ahead and ask. Hope I can find an answer for them.
You mentioned using acid-free vacuum board.
Mhm.
Are pastels sensitive to that sort of thing?
I
know
use
photographs
acid-free everywhere
Because our pastels.
because it's archival.
Right, I know that, but I mean, but the medium that you're using, is that especially so sensitive to the effects of acid?
I don't know. I don't know. Probably.
And
Because if
paper-
the paper turns yellow and all that, if there's anything to show it. I don't know if the pastel would not stick after a while or fade. I don't know. But
But it protects the paper that it's on it.
that's right. So anyway, I sketch with a number 2 pencil, and I get my paper towels from Napa Auto Supply. They're almost like cloth, and they don't tear when I smudge against the sandpaper. Regular paper towel would just tear it up. So.
Would you add that caution about fingertips?
Oh, the best way
You
to.
introduced us to this wonderful sanded paper.
Well, I've probably got there eventually during the painting, but I smudge a lot with my fingers, but you gotta be very careful because, when your smudging starts turning red, you know you've gone too far.
And now you have no fingerprints, do you?
I don't have any fingerprints. I have a thumbprint, but no fingerprints. Now, the first thing you have to establish when you're talking about perspective drawing is an eye level line. And can anybody tell me where the eye level line is in this picture?
Out of the frame.
It's way down there. It's out of the frame. It's clear down here. So all of my vanishing lines that go to my vanishing points go out of the picture, down to my eye level line. So that's one of the first things that you have to consider. So now I'm going to just block in, and I'm told that I've got to watch the camera and not talk to you because you're watching that. And anyway, here goes. I'm gonna block in the building. When you're laying out your drawing, you want to consider where it's placed on a picture. They like to talk about the thirds, you know, you divide your picture in thirds, like this, something like that. You either have it there, 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 or there. So our lighthouse, we're going to put right over here. I took the photographs, so I know a little bit about how to photograph, so I kind of composed the picture when I photographed it. Not all photographs are that way. Watch the camera.
Zoom in a little bit
Who said that? Get up here.
more. Orders from headquarters.
When you're doing ovals and everything, you want to kind of draw through, even though they're not going to show up. You know, you kind of draw through. And what I'm looking at is the bottom of this part here. I'm also told I've got to talk every once in a while so that the camera doesn't shut up. You know, this is awfully stressful.
You could hum a few bars. Honey, humming. The only thing we don't want is muttering. If you have a juicy piece of gossip, just say it right out so it gets out the
All right, I'll try and remember that. Now, you know, as you're going down, as you go down, you're looking, how to explain this? When you're looking right at an oval at your eye level line, all you see is a straight line. Excuse me.
When you're looking at a circle, you mean?
You're looking at a straight line,
Yeah.
but you're looking at a circle.
Yeah.
And as it goes down,
Becomes
it gets, you know, or in this case, as it goes up, you're looking at the underneath side of that circle, and it becomes more of a circle as it goes up, and less of an as an ellipse. So my biggest, the widest circle is going to be here, and then as I come down, they're going to get less of an oval. Okay?
Repeat that, please.
Say everything else that I need to practice drawing.
Don't they all?
An hour a day is suggested, at least.
Okay.
At least. And draw from life. In other words, get a bottle up there, or get a paper towel, or get a computer, or whatever's in front of you.
Not a picture?
Well, preferably from life. Because you start learning how to get that depth and this sort of thing. So, but if you don't have something from life, use a photo.
Do you always draw standing up at the easel?
I always draw standing up at the easel.
The perspective is better.
It is. And on normal circumstances, you can step back and look at it. But in this particular case, I'd be sitting on somebody's lap.
Or her food.
That would make for a great video.
Buzz and Jay always stand up after work at the easels.
Bob Landry did that over at Eureka and he fell off the chair. Down into a boat.
Really? New Year's Eve?
Oh, yeah,
The painting at Band in Oregon, and right there painting that fireboat, and that U.S. Coast Guard boat, and seagull came flying over.
what the.
Fireboat
seagulls
by
thought of
seagulls.
paint.
Very realistic.
We were doing a outdoor painting, pastel in a farm. And the cows were way down the hill. And a friend of mine was working over the hill and I was working on top of the hill. And along came lunchtime, and so he came up to where I was, so to have lunch. He left his pastel and his pastel in the paper down below. About that time, well, the cows got a little active, and they came up, and we did, of course, it was over the brow of the hill, we didn't see them. So after lunch, he went down there and looked, and the cows had just eaten all his paper and spread his pastel.
I can identify with that. In my case, I was painting with oils. And nature was calling. I was painting in the back of my property up in Happy Valley. So I set my palette down on the ground and I went running to the house. And when I got back, the dog had Naples yellow all over her face. And she had just cleaned up that Naples yellow. She just loved it. And found out later it's poisonous. That was what Van Gogh tried to kill himself with, is Naples yellow.
Wow.
And it didn't kill the dog, but she did have blood in her urine and stools for 2 or 3 days afterwards.
But not yellow.
No.
As far as I know, the cows didn't suffer.
The colorful milk.
That was on Westbrook's farm over there by, the shore.
Well, the cows would have an affinity for yellow because one of the famous yellows was, what's the name of the yellow? What's the name of the yellow that actually, for years, it was a closely guarded secret?
Gamboge?
Hansa?
Might have been,
Gamboge or?
well, anyway, but it was actually made from cow's urine. That's
Indian
where it got
yellow.
its lovely yellow.
Indian.
Indian yellow. Indian yellow.
Well, that's why we have new Gamboge.
Do we want to know what it's made out of?
No, the old Gamboge, I understood.
They switched to cat urine.
Whatever. A friend of mine had a van, and he went out to paint in his van all the time, and he took off to do some photography, left his dog in the van with his watercolors, and the dog loved the sizing that was on the Arch's paper. So he ate about 6 paintings while he was.
Is that the same as the dog ate the homework?
He was hired by the critic after that.
The dog.
No. I hope Bill's accustomed to this sort of repartee.
Who, me? I never heard it before.
You may never.
I was in the Marine Corps for 4 years. I was in music.
Yeah, right.
I'm looking at the camera now. Actually, that's a good drawing there.
Really makes you look good.
That's devastating.
Coming up with a perspective that fast, that is impressive. As long as you can do it.
If he's innocent, he was a kid, that's a lot.
a lot more interesting than the photograph.
How can you do that without jumping around so all the time, children?
You need a stool.
Did you see that look?
Yes, I did.
I'm dead.
When you get a new
That's a
tripod.
compliment, Mr. Crary.
Pardon?
That was a compliment.
It was a compliment?
That was a compliment.
Oh, I wasn't even listening.
Good.
That's how he gets away with it. He doesn't even hear us.
Well, it's really hard to talk and concentrate at the same
I
time.
know.
And that's why a demonstration is one thing, you know, and I'm supposed to be talking. But I do have to do a little thinking or I'll wind up with nothing in the end. You know, I don't want to look foolish up here. So when I go out painting, plein air painting, I don't sit up around anybody. Just because I don't want them talking to me because it distracts me. And I paint with a lot of different ladies. And most painting groups I have, I'm the only male. And so, it's so much so I'm considered one of the girls now.
So you don't call them your harem, huh?
So, well, several of them complimented saying that I'm the only male that they would go paint with. You know, so, I think it's some sort of compliment.
Yeah.
But not to my manhood, but, but the girls, they start talking when they get next to each other. So I just get way away.
I've noticed.
No.
I had 35 in my classes down at El Monte. All girls. I was the Phil Spitali of El Monte.
Was Ina Ray Hutton one of your students?
No, unfortunately, she was active when I was about 6 years old.
Carol, you don't believe
But
it.
my- my uncle, but
But my great-grandfather knew her well.
my uncle who had 2 of everything was there.
My dad had about
I don't
20
think you
of
better
everything.
elaborate on Jay.
You weren't supposed to be listening.
You
though.
done yourself, you can dig yourself out.
Yeah.
We need 2 cameras.
Yeah,
Over there.
And the ostrich farm, and the crocodile farm. is there, too.
Tell Ellen you need a stool.
El Monte. It's at the end of the Santa Fe Trail. The western end. Yeah, that was the movie industry used
If you do make something that you want to change, is the only way you can change it is, well, you use that blue paper towel, right? You don't have to use your
That's
fingertip.
right, that's right. Well, it's pretty hard to erase pencil on sandpaper. And I can't, you take an eraser, you just rub your eraser off, you know, so you can't really erase. I can correct things once I get my pastel on it. I was talking about you lose concentration when you're talking, and I lost concentration. I missed this whole portion of the lighthouse. I'm gonna shorten it up a little bit. It's called an artistic license.
Well, he can draw. Very well. We know that.
Well, I'm not so sure, I'm not totally, I'm not totally happy with it.
Oh, it's wonderful to slam it out that fast, that's just beautiful. Your camera does a beautiful job of picking it up. Screen, it looks really beautiful.
Sylvia's working with our new camera. She's learned all of its idiosyncrasies, and she can now copy the video while he's demoing, so that when he's through with the demo, she just pops that open and gives him the video. Isn't that right? Uh-huh.
If all goes well.
And we all remember how it was last time without Sylvia, so we're very happy she's back.
I heard about your old
I'll
camera
take-
from last
I
night.
take turpenoid and repaint it here.
What is turpenoid?
Sorry, Bill, I missed that. What
It's
is
turpenoid, turpentine, it's the odorless paint, turpentine.
And what does that do?
Oil paints.
But it kind of sets the, if I started drawing on it, the graphite would pick up. But this kind of sets the graphite into the paper and it doesn't smear.
Oh.
How long do those brushes last
Not very long.
on sandpaper?
At least till they get through the training.
And you don't
This
use
was
Kolinsky?
my other one.
Oh.
Wow.
Let's see.
Look at that.
Are you using a syn-
Those are the same brush.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
The
they
same.
were both the same, almost the same length when I started.
Are those for oil paints?
They're oil painted brushes. Yes,
Pretty
bristle
coarse.
Are they synthetic or hog bristle?
brushes. They're what?
Are they synthetic or hog?
They're hollow. Speaking of bristles, I have some watercolor brushes over there, left over from my watercolor class. Got a good price on them, and so anybody that needs some good watercolor brushes, I take them.
The golden,
Not take them, buy them.
they're the golden fleece, which
Yes.
are really great brushes.
We could have an auction and raise money for the gallery, if we were real entrepreneurs.
Like cheaters.
Yeah.
We have the best book.
The operator is better. The best. Very best. I don't want to say that.
She'd raise her price.
Raise the price.
She'd want more,
Yeah.
she'd want more money. We're talking about you, Sylvia. He was complimenting how well you're doing. He said, but I don't want to say anything, she might ask for more money.
Yeah, double what I got.
Double on.
But the benefits, my dear.
You get-
Perks
You
are
have
out of
6
this
zeros
world.
on it.
Oh, the perks are out of this world. What are they at?
Like a painting already. I can take it.
Okay?
She said she'd take it.
Values, are you getting values?
I also getting values. Yeah. All right, I think that's good enough.
I'm sorry, I was getting coffee. What was in that little,
Turpenoid,
and what else? Was it the,
graphite. Just graphite.
How quickly does that dry?
Pretty quick, it's just about dry now. And pastels are pure pigment. They're just enough binder to hold the pigment together. If you take the same pigment and put a water-soluble binding to it, they call them watercolors. If you put an oil binder to it, they're called oil paints. But the pastels are a pure pigment, so that's why you can get such bright, brilliant colors out of the pastels.
So the oil pastels are also an oil binder?
They're also an oil binder, yes. And when you enter pastel, the soft pastels, not oil pastels.
They won't accept,
They won't accept the oil pastels.
because they're actually not permanent with that.
Mine hasn't faded a bit.
Well, that's what the Pastel Society says they will not accept. I think it's because of the way the oil reacts with the paper. The oil pastel. But that's their contention, why they will not accept it.
They didn't break it down.
Now you just change color.
I changed color to a lighter blue, yes ma'am.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Huh?
I thought that must be the turpenoid. I didn't see
No,
that
no,
change.
could you tell us what colors you're using?
a light blue.
That's my man. I love it. Thank you.
I just look at it and think that's what I want.
Yeah.
Another blue.
With my watercolors, I could tell you it was gummize yellow or
Yeah.
burnt sienna or whatever. But see, there's no wrappers on these. And I have, there's 900 and some different colors of pastels in the Schmieke set.
Oh.
And then when you go to Sennelier, you have another 400 or 500 different colors. And their, lack of a better word, light blue is different than the Schmieke's light blue. See, so it'd be impossible for me to tell you what color. I can tell you that it's probably got ultramarine in it. Okay? So, light blue.
Is this that light blue? That's this light blue.
It's what your eye likes, huh?
That's right. And that's how you pick your colors. Now, my palette is all laid out from light to dark, and it goes from yellow to yellow green to blue to blue grays, and then lavenders and purples up above here, and then to oranges and reds. Okay? Albert Handel takes his box like this, and he dumps it out on the floor, and then he takes them and scoops them, put them back.
Oh,
And his is all, he looks around, I like that color. Yeah, see, and he paints beautiful paintings, you know, but,
So yours isn't Roy G. Biv?
pardon?
You don't have the rainbow order?
He does, it's just split in a different
It's-
spot.
Yeah, just put it in a different spot, yeah. Yeah.
I learned Roy G. Biv, I wanted to be a
Who's that?
name dropper.
Oh, okay.
He invented the rainbow.
He invented the rainbow?
Yes.
that's what he claims, huh?
Wouldn't God have something to say about that?
Amen.
Al Gore invented the internet, this guy invented whatever. Does that help fix it when you rub it like that?
It does, gets rid of all that white in there.
Now, do you leave white paper for your whites, or do you use a white pastel?
I use a white pastel because, see, I've already lost all my whites after I put the graphite on. You know, so.
Where do you get your sand type of paper? Do you order it from a catalog in
You
Gross?
can order it from the catalog in Gross. I buy it from Dakota Art Supplies in Washington. Tacoma, something like that. Little bit of clouds up there just for them to make it up.
Was it something we said?
Or eight.
That's why I don't do Pastel, I remember that.
Oh, the dust.
Why?
The dust.
You looked at it, it was like chalk.
Yeah, I used to do pastels when I had to.
It's called active artist. The dust flying.
Have you ever watched Alexander Ayer? Have
Ooh,
you ever seen Alexander Ayer up in Gold Beach? He always paints pastel with her mask on.
So there's a girl named Holly. She wears a mask.
Oh, look at this. Wow.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, y'all look.
Stop talking and look.
Uh-huh.
How long are you gonna be doing that?
Pardon?
No, Sylvia, how long are you gonna be, you're done? You said, excuse me, I thought you were changing the film. I wanted to get up there and take it.
Have you seen a ruler and uses, what do they call it, a maul?
Maul.
He's using his ruler as a maul stick.
That's great.
You can't see that.
You have to look a little bit, oh.
To rub it?
That's how you keep your hand off the pastel?
Yes, yes, sir.
See, he's so used to being with all the ladies, he says, yes, ma'am.
Six.
And I use whatever you call it, because I can't get the detail with it, with a pastel, so I get the detail with this.
What are you doing over there? Cheating and getting to those brushes before everybody else does.
She's praying to be first.
Bring them back with you.
I was reading a Pastel magazine last night, and one article after another, they all preferred the Wallace paper. But there was one paper that she liked even better than Wallace, but she said it had one big disadvantage. If even one drop of rain, you could never use it on a day with clouds, because even one drop of rain fell on it, it went right down to the white paper underneath.
You can't sneeze, cough.
And never, he said, would I dream of blowing on it, because one little drop of moisture, you get the white, pure, startling white spot. But in spite of that, he loved the paper.
So it works as an eraser. So it works as an eraser.
More than an eraser, it was terrifying, you know.
Very true.
Did you use that paper? You can't? I think that's,
Gary, that's why I like hearing about different papers, because when you
Well,
follow
I
it,
found this magazine that talked about it.
yeah.
And it was an article in there.
I had squares. What bristles are these, Bill? The golden fleece, are they synthetic?
They're synthetic.
I thought they must be.
Yeah.
Like they're shaped
You
with
know,
back to a point?
I have a couple of Winsor Newton red sable, and I have other red sables. The bugs get to them and they wear out. And since I started buying these synthetic bristles, good brushes, but synthetic bristles, I can paint a storm with them.
They hold their shape.
They hold their shape.
What do you mean bugs getting into it?
Your red sable, moths and things will eat 'em.
Wow.
And if you paid $800 for a Kolinsky, that would be kind of.
That would be heartbreaking. You're supposed to use them so the moths don't get to them. Priceless to kids.
Right, Lord.
What is the animal, what is the, it's a sable, isn't it? Is that some kind of a?
Number 2 right here, this is 350.
I'm denying the tail of my wolf. And only the male and only the female.
And this is the,
Yeah.
Oh, he has a bug.
Varmint, it's a varmint, it's a varmint.
Why don't you pass those kids? Like one.
That's what I'm thinking. If baseball has got a little bit wet,
Okay, what else have we got? Where's the, where's the 1.5?
I think I got it without it sticking to
How thick or how, to achieve the color you look, how many times do you rub it or do you apply another color on another color over it?
Well, the question was asked, how many layers do I put? That's really the artist, whoever's doing the painting, for them to decide how to do that, what is they want. I start out light, and then I can smudge it, you know. And if I want it darker or change color, I change color. So it's really your choice as to what it is that you want. So. Now, where watercolor is a medium that you start from light to dark, you know, you have to leave your lights. You can't paint dark and then paint light over it. This you can paint dark and then come over with light and paint right over it, like oils. So.
Oops.
And these brushes that you pass around for sale, I love them. Yeah, and I'm the local store, they have the.
Where's the price? Is the price list that went along with it?
Yeah,
Okay. I guess I'm gonna have to rely on you guys being honest about what you're taking.
Uh-oh.
We're very honored.
Okay.
Where's the camera guy?
Well, you can paint, I use a bigger brush both ways, but not the same brush. Once you use a brush, a watercolor brush for oils, it's strictly an oil brush. You can't go back to watercolors. You know, now you can take a watercolor brush and go to oil, but you can't go back. Even if you clean it real good, it just doesn't fit. But the oil gets in those bristles and doesn't hold the water. So.
We have a pocket knife and a pair of scissors. I want to look inside.
It's just a hate brush.
Yeah, I've seen it though. I have to feel and look at smell.
It's like setting kids' candy store.
Oh, the lady, somebody's holding it up in the back.
This one was $47. We're just having so much fun with this that we're
Okay, the Hague brush is $7.50, the rigger is $3.50, the number 12 round is $8.25, and the 28 round is 13. Those are good prices.
They are good prices.
Yeah.
We never did get to see that one.
There's only one left.
Which one are you looking for?
For some reason, I saw a rigger and that was the last person.
That's what happened with the regulars.
Everybody's buying.
First one I saw.
One of the riggers that way.
Is this pronounced cake or pocket?
I think it's, I don't know.
Certain things.
Japanese
Probably Nucky.
But you can have, that's the point. No, he's got more than that. Unless you want.
Oh, guess what I just did?
You know, they had a beautiful
When your picture is finished, are you able to make changes later, or does it set once it's set, or does it
Make
change?
changes, if you don't like something you've done, you sit there and erase it out of there, because it's got turbinoid in it, so it
Oops.
darkened it up a little
And
bit.
how long after you've finished it, can you do that indefinitely?
Sure, sure. In fact, you can just take this and take your can of turbinoid and wash the whole thing off and start over.
How much does that board cost?
The paper itself, this is a quarter sheet of paper. The paper costs $20 a sheet. So this is $5 worth right here. And then it's $20 for a full 4x8 sheet of acid-free foam core. And so it's probably about $3 worth here in the foam core. And then the acid-free spray that I spray it and they glue it on here with is probably about 50 cents worth on this one painting. So we have $7 or $8 tied up with this setup here. You know, so.
When you take it off there, is it because there's glue on it, it's gonna melt or?
You don't take it off. It's there. You frame the whole thing.
Oh, you're gonna clean that out of it.
Why?
It's gonna be matted.
It's all gonna be matted. See those?
Oh, I see, oh, yeah.
So,
Do you have trouble with the, with breathing or coughing? Does it ever affect you on certain things?
I have had allergies and I cough. It's not the pastel. But I do a lot of coughing, and it's left over from my smoking days. That was 20 years ago. And that's, I smoked 3.5 packs a day. So I didn't do myself any good there.
It's 8.25, 12, 13.
Oh. Carolyn?
I did two of them.
$3.50.
It's up here.
She signed her phone number and all of it.
Do you go back and forth between the two? Or do you
You have the price list, what was the number 12? Did everybody get all the brushes they wanted up there? You don't, well, then,
Are those when you're gonna buy?
No, I was looking at it, you know,
did you?
I'm trying to find that brand name.
Is that back again?
You already have one? I'm sorry,
He said they
Where did that price get?
Right, it's on the screen. Sylvia, read the price list to Loretta.
Those who can't read.
Oh, that's all right, just pass it out.
And then maybe we should put her down at the bottom and so we don't have to make it.
Is that around?
Number two regular.
Oh, and what's a eight?
That's that.
And that great big thing.
Yeah, but what, how much is it?
I can afford to.
What's
Cake
the
is a fish. Right.
Pop.
Who wants the fish? Done,
You just can't have
Now, this is the rudest I've heard all of you be.
Bill, did you happen to bring any of that wonderful Wallace paper with you?
I didn't, I'm sorry.
that gets to the pre.
I can't talk gallery and order stuff.
And sometimes I have no seats, or sometimes just standing on these.
Okay.
I just have.
You got one through. Or that's the same.
Greta, are we supposed to do a masterpiece when we do demos? Uh-oh.
Well, you're not getting one this time.
Oh, yes, we are.
That's what I was thinking, he's doing such a great job.
Well, the thing is, it's the hour is up, see, so it's kind of hard to finish this painting, so. I think
We'll
it's-
stay. We'll stay.
Pardon?
You're on time and a half. That's Thursday.
I could go to Europe.
Some people actually turn their glasses around sort of so it goes over the ears so you can.
See behind the.
Now, how do you keep that so clean when you're going through the dark like that? Do you just keep turning your chalk, or your, excuse me, the
Or
pastel?
I wipe it off, or I wipe it off.
Okay.
Yeah, you just have to push it all the feel for it.
I'm sorry for not talking right now. It's just hard to try and concentrate on talk at the moment right now. I probably picked too hard of a picture to demonstrate. So,
Awesome.
anyway, this is, now, when like trees, you really don't get too much detail in it. So just sliding that, as Albert Handel says, that feel. You know, it's kind of sliding it across there, just barely gives the impression that there's leaves there with sky coming through it, you know. So,
Who's your favorite watercolorist? Is he one of them?
I think watercolors,
I mean,
he's a
pastel.
pastel. He's one of them, and Ron, not Ron Ransom. He's one of my favorite watercolors. But somebody else mentioned they had a class. Where did she go? She was sitting there.
Deanie.
Who was it, Harley?
Oh, you said you had.
Harley?
Oh, Harley Brown is probably one of my favorite. But you said you took a class from
I think that,
the first name you mentioned.
So I'll put my Handel, so the band that he admires, I sent away for his tape, and I have all of the tape over here, so that anytime.
This is available.
Do you have that on tape too, or that's a CD?
A CD.
Is this a CD player too?
One, it doesn't this play a CD?
I don't think so. No.
CD is around disc.
No,
His-
this
his-
is,
his
But
is-
all the new
DVD.
televisions have a CD, this one doesn't, you know?
a DVD player.
I don't know what I mean. It's around pancake.
This won't work.
That's a CD or a DVD. Some players won't use them, but that's just a plain TV up there.
And a VCR. I know.
We bought ours at the same time.
That would be good to have.
we don't know either, we don't know whether to take one or what.
What did I do here? In this case, where I made a mistake,
Okay, get to watch now.
right here.
Everybody watch.
So I'm gonna just erase that out of there. Bring back my color to the right perspective. I forgot about my perspective drawing here. Okay.
See how quiet it gets when somebody needs to sing?
Pardon?
Yeah, we're all spellbound. Oh,
Sorry
boy.
that you made a mistake.
Yeah.
We recognize that word.
Awesome.
Okay? So, you know, I normally have a thing down here, I took it off the packet, but it's, to catch all of this dust that's falling down here in the pallet.
Price list, anybody?
No, but who do we pay the money to?
Pardon?
Where's Bill?
You heard that
Oh.
part.
What?
Oh.
The lady with the cool hair.
These guys need to collect money, I mean, you need to collect money from these people.
We can't leave until you do.
I think the heating is a lot more.
He knew what to do.
Finish your lunch, because the money is piling up on this little chair.
Anybody want the price list?
She probably would like to have it, so she can mail us before we go out the door.
So, what's this? This is for this and what kind of board did you have?
And I bought a pink or however you.
Hockey.
A hockey and I bought a 28 and I bought
Thank you. And then this? That's for this. So that's for the regular. And who else?
The price is there, or is if you had, what I did is I bought 12 each. So that's what the price I gave you, as if you had bought 12.
Oh, wonderful. We appreciate it very much.
Wow.
But your one brush won't last near as long as 12.
Now that was extremely astute, Jay. Wow. Voice of wisdom.
And if you give it to your uncle, you'll have 24 brushes.
Touche. The man who has two of everything. Is that including wine?
Including two addresses, because I went to his house and he was at the other house.
How much are these catalogs?
The catalogs are free.
I have these two.
Whoa.
What brand is that? Yeah, we all want to. We all want to keep doing
And
it.
I have to go up to the
True artist.
That's 1175 too. So if you want to hang on to it for me, and then I'll have to.
And if you just call me.
Do you have any extra chicken? Right? They're all out. Is this one of them? Yeah, you grabbed it? Anybody have any of those catalogs they don't want?
Maybe we could sell it.
They're real simple, if you just go online to cheapgoods.com and fill out, and they'll send you one. They're really simple.
I don't know if he intended for us to do this while he was painting.
I think he probably did.
Yeah, but this way he doesn't have to talk, Sylvia, because we're talking.
That's why he knows how to, he's tuning this out, right?
No, it's not.
Ask his wife. What was your name again?
Terry.
Terry. Ask Terry.
Didn't I give you one gift today? I charged you $3 for making my edition.
I think I'm gonna quit the demos right now. It's, and then finish it up here because it now it takes a lot of detail work and real concentration. So.
The drawing was wonderful.